Quick disclaimer that everything in this video is purely for jokes. I got consent from everyone that they're going to be recorded and they will be shown in the video. No TOS was broken. Thank you. Wait, is it even recording? What up? Alright, there we go. Hi, chat. Well, Mouse is not here.
Hello,
He's not here.
Yeah, Mouse is not here, so we're all
as
waiting for him
always.
to record the video.
I don't think he's coming.
So it's been about an hour, isn't it?
More than that, actually. We've been pinging him for the past 3 hours.
Actually,
3?
yeah.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, why?
What do we
Yeah,
do?
I don't understand if it's like an hour or so, but 3 hours?
Insane.
He's actually dead.
That is unhinged.
Do we just swap him out with another one and just change the channel's name to Yuko and someone else?
Right. Actually, what you should do is just like...
Okay, so how do we
Alright.
talk about child abuse?
We didn't even do
What?
the intro yet.
Oh.
Alright, fuck it.
Yeah, that's the intro though, is it?
We don't need intro.
No way you got an intro for this shit.
We don't need intro.
Anyways, I might go mute sometimes. So if I'm mute, just start.
I'll mute you for a second. Yeah, as I was saying, people, for those who are watching, which is literally no one, this is the official Discord podcast now, really. It's still important. Sponsored by official court case of Ruru, of Rublight. There we go. You are muted now,
Okay.
Force.
You guys.
Do we begin?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay, so... Triple X court case number 1, Court of Furu, with our prosecutor Hugo and his lawyer Mouse against the defendant Force and his lawyer Joga. So, for
Exactly.
background, the lawsuit is as follows. According to the defendant's claim on Eid al-Adha 2018, the offender, Hugo, forcefully abused him, and thus they suffered a terminal brain damage and leg dysfunction. The defendant claims that they have medical records of the injury, and the offender should be held accountable by receiving up to 1 day timeout in Ribolite. The defender also claims that the offender at the time was 14, a responsible teenager which knew what he was doing. The abuse in that case was that Hugo grabbed him and threw him at their cousin, and thus the defendant tripped over and hit their head on the TV table. So, to begin, let's have a more in-depth explanation from our prosecutor, Hugo. Please.
Yeah, so this all happened back in 2018.
Hugo,
where-
before you start, can I get a cigarette?
Go ahead.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Give me a second.
Excuse
I'm gonna
me,
mute myself.
Judge, excuse me, but my lawyer cannot function without the sudden nicotine rush. I deeply apologize.
Oh my god.
I understand.
Okay, so
I'm giving you
this
5
happened
minutes.
during 2018 on Eid al-Adha, which was supposedly around summertime. And this happened when you could say I used the defendant here, or my cousin, as a human shield to self-defense. And they're claiming that I was 14 at the time and I should be responsible and held accountable for what I've done. But at that time I was 12. My birthday is on December 19th, 2005, which makes me in the middle of 2018, 12-year-old, making me completely innocent in this case, and I should not receive any penalty. And this coming back years later just seems stupid. This lawsuit seems injustice. It should have
No,
been held way before. The court should have been held way sooner than this.
Alright, now on the other side, Force and your lawyer, Droga, give your case.
Well, let's see if Morphe can speak first.
First of all, I have an objection. He's saying that he's not 14 at that time, but his office was lying, which makes him that he says he says he was 12, but he was lying because at that time he was like way older than a 12-year-old. And he had a mustache, which always shows that he was older than 12, and that's something that he lied. And we can pass this to my lawyer, Joga.
Okay, I will continue this. My guy here, Force, is a 14-year-old, so we're not going to take him seriously. I'm sorry, but Yuko is saying that he was 12 at that time. Well, like for his age right now, yes, he was 12, almost 13, and that is a teenager. And I think that he is responsible for his action, even though he's saying that it was self-defense. Self-defense from what? Are you talking self-defense from force or from another person? Because it's kind of confusing. You say self-defense as if force, an 8-year-old at that time, was abusing you and you helped yourself up. But in the other story, you said you were fighting with his brothers and he got into the war, what you called it, and you used him as a human shield to protect yourself from the opponent of yours, and you threw him. You threw an 8-year old, and you gave him a bruise on his head, and I have proof from his doctors that it is still affecting him till now. Can you defend that, Yuko?
Okay, let me just step in. Yuko said he was 12. This is stupid, okay? A minor on minor abuse is not a legal offense.
What are you talking about?
Yuko was 12. That is stupid.
No? And Force
Yuko.
was 8.
Yuko was 12.
Order,
Force
order.
was 8.
Alright. Everyone, please be quiet. So, while it is true that Yugo was 12 years old at the time of the incident, under the Iraqi Penal Code, paragraph 64 to 66, a child aged between 7 and 15 is considered a juvenile and can be held accountable for certain acts. However, under paragraph 68, if a child commits a misdemeanor, such a child should not be under any punishment and must prioritize reform. So, what's your thoughts on this, Joga?
I think that just because it's said there, yes, I'm
We
respecting
are
the laws
so
of the
fucking
Iraq,
winning. We are so fucking
but
winning.
abuse is abuse, and I don't think that just because the law protects the law does not
Okay, law is
protect
the
the
final
victim
word.
against. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. Can you let me speak, Mr. Mouse?
Order,
No, I think
order,
I think I
mouse,
have a right to step
mouse,
in.
I used to
mouse.
think.
Please
I don't.
let them finish. Let them finish first. You'll have your turn. Joga, please continue.
Okay, I'm saying that the victim's rights always comes first because, as you can see, Force is the victim here. He was the guy that was abused, and this isn't just about how bad Yuka feels or like he did not mean it, but like it happened, and the victim, who is Force, who lives now with like a neurological condition, the law should protect him first because I don't think that aggression should be there and like to escape the consequences because of the law protecting minors. He was 12. I think
Alright,
he I
alright.
think he
Order, order.
had the brain to think of it
Joga,
to not do that.
Joga, I understand your points. I understand your points. Now then, let's hear from the other
Okay,
side.
can I speak?
Mouse, please continue.
Please, before Mr. Lawyer, can you
Can I speak?
can you please check DMs?
Yuko,
I've
Yuko,
sent you
stop
the
talking.
important
Allow me to.
files.
Okay, okay, dude, I'm getting to it. Don't stop talking. Okay, if
Alright.
we're going to talk about laws and actual abuse, I think Yuko is the victim because Force here does not tell us the full story. What happened was after whatever happened to Force, his mother started ignoring Yuko for how long was it? 2 weeks. And I think all forms of psychological torture are inhumane and should be strictly prohibited.
Can I defend my
Objection.
case right now?
Objection.
Sorry, give me a
That never
moment.
happened.
So, Mouse,
Force, can you
I have a
finish?
question.
Yes,
So,
Your Honor.
were the psychological terrorism, was it done prior to the abuse or was it afterwards?
It was after the abuse.
It
Well,
was after the
abuse. So
abuse.
it was quote unquote abuse. Okay. You.
Right, so it was
Force's
after the
brother.
incident, let's
Yeah,
say.
yeah. So Force's
So
mother
what you're
and Force's.
saying,
Uh,
so what you're saying is Yuko had already been punished by the mother of our
exactly what
defendant
I'm saying.
force. Is
And
that what you mean?
it wasn't like a normal punishment. Okay. It was full on psychological abuse, and I'm sure Yuko still has PTSD.
Ew.
We're gonna like test that.
Hmm.
Your
Alright.
honor, my bad. That was just a sudden spike of memory and rush and adrenaline. I can't
No, I
process
understand, I
that.
understand.
Okay, wait. Dear Honor, can I speak?
You may.
Okay, so Yuko is saying, apart from Yuko, Mouse, the lawyer of Yuko, is claiming that the mother or the parent has intervened in this case, which I think just because the parents intervened does not make you immune to your consequences. You did an act that is supposedly being abused. You abused a guy that did nothing to you. And if we were like to the case that just because a parent is intervened, anyone can literally commit violence and say, "Don't worry, my
No,
parents."
it
And
wasn't just
correct?
Force's
I'm
mother. It
sorry.
was
Okay.
Order,
Force's brother as
order,
well.
order in the
I'm
court.
sorry. I'm
Everyone,
speaking.
please be quiet. Please be
And
quiet.
that is not
Joga,
how this
Joga,
is working.
order, order, please. Let me speak for a moment. Right, so, from Mouse's words, Hugo has been subjected to psychological terrorism from Force's mother following the
And
incident.
brother, by the way,
So,
not just the mother, the brother as well.
alright, so under the Iraqi Penal Code paragraphs 128 to 134, only legal excuses or extenuating circumstances may reduce or discharge a penalty, but if they may be directly related to the commission of the offence, it has to be completely and directly related to the offence rather than the social aftermath. So that still leaves us a window for Droga to give you guys an actual punishment regarding the incident. So, what's your words?
Um, yes, after me first, if the judge wants. I just want to defend you on this. Well,
Alright, so
as I
Droga,
already
continue.
said, you do not get immunity just because your parents intervene. That is irrelevant because that's not how justice works. It's in this court isn't run by like Yuko's parents. If it was just because your parents did it, now we are in a court with a different judge that is not your parent. So if it was to that case, anyone could commit any violence they want, and they will say, "Don't worry, my parents handled it." Which I think that is absolutely should not be there because Yuko says he was punished. But let's be clear, Force is still being punished every day. He still collapses when he remembers the trauma. Actually, we saw videos of Force getting those PTSDs and it was heartbreaking to see it. Until Force
Alright,
gets
Objection,
the
alright.
Your Honor.
Regarding those
Can I
videos,
just add on to that?
do we have a copy that we can play in courts?
a
I'm
copy
sorry,
of
but we cannot take any variable evidence here. We need to be much more
Your Honor, objection. Their
secure.
entire defense
Yes.
is completely invalid and they're altering the story to make me look like the actual offender here. May I
You
continue?
don't please stop talking, man. I got this, okay?
Your Honor, may you please shut up my lawyer as he still has not read any of the files I presented
Order,
to him.
Yuko, I'm
order in
getting
the
to
court.
it. Yuko, I'm
Order in
getting
the
to it.
court. Mouse, shut your mouth. Alright, good boy. Now then, the defendant has already given their thing, they have given their words, and I have fully understood them. Now then, our prosecutor, Hugo, said that those aren't the actual side of the story and is subject to some more discrepancies that paints them as a moral superior sign.
Yes, Your Honor,
So,
you're correct.
Hugo, what can you say about that?
All right, so if we check the document which I sent to you before the court started, if you check our side of the story, that section, uh, so I'll read it out for you. The defendant and the offender were both at their grandparents' house, staying there for the night. It was the day before Eid al-Adha to be specific, and from the afternoon till evening, the cousins, included both parties, were playing PUBG Mobile. The defendant was kicked out of the four-man party for being absolutely dogshit at the game. After a certain match ended, the cousin, Double A, which what we will be calling him, threw a pillow at the defendant's older brother. We'll call him 1A. The eldest brother fought back and teamed up with Force's second eldest brother, we'll call him Y. As Y and A teamed up, they fought Double A, which was the other cousin. Yuko I, at the time, was a single-man squad, thus leaving me in a vulnerable position. The defendant was not in the room, defendant in this case being Force. He was not in the room, and at the time during the fight, Force walked in and got caught between the crossfire. As the other cousin, Double A, was preparing to launch a heavy attack onto Yuko, who was 12 at the time, Yuko, in a desperate time to find defensive material, had grabbed Force and used him as a human shield. Then Yuko threw Force to block out more pillows, but Force tripped over and hit his head to the table. Your Honor, this has no
Objection.
this has no relation to any of the psychological, the leg damage of Force, and afterwards about the injury part of their claim in their lawsuit. Seconds after impact, Force's forehead began swelling, and after a minute turned full red with a big lump or a bump on his forehead. All parties agreed to ceasefire and held Force. Force's mother began to treat the injury by applying some form of oil to heal the injury. By the morning, as we were staying there by the night, the swelling and the bump had gone, and all was left is a semi-purple Mona red mark on his forehead. In condition, Force's mother began to ignore Yuko, which under Iraqi laws, one Constitution of Iraq 2005, all forms of
Oh, that's what
physiological
you
torture
wanted
and
me to
inhumane
read.
treatment
Okay.
are strictly prohibited. Number 2, under the Iraqi law, Juvenile Welfare Law number 67 of 1983. Children of ages 9 to 14 can be held and detained, but it must be under a government-approved rehab center, not an adult prison. In this case, even if I were to be held accountable, my form of accountability will be to put in a rehab center. But now I'm old enough, I'm not 12 anymore, and I think it's stupid to continue this court case. Besides, here the incorrect informations with the which the other party, including Juga and Force, have actually put in their lawsuit. Defendant claims that the incident resulted in internal brain damage that resulted in twitching left effect. This is incorrect, as the defendant's symptoms only started showing 3 weeks ago when he started his football club practice, started in 2025, making it completely invalid and related to original lawsuit. The defender also claims they have medical records of a terminal brain injury which resulted in the twitching lead effect. But still there, no medical records nor proof have been found. The defendant also claims that a week ago, the offender Yuko tried to physically abuse him and showed a 4-second video of me literally sitting down with a Pepsi. Too many false claims, yet no proof or valid reason for me to be held accountable.
Your Honor, Yuko has
You
been
have.
yapping a lot. Okay, let me just step in. Yuko, you can stop talking now.
Alright. Have your turn, Mouse.
I think everything that Yuko has said is completely valid, but what I want to point out is what Yuko did to Force. Yuko used Force as a human shield, which I think is kind of hype, and everyone would do that. I grow up.
Joga, your thoughts?
Can I speak?
Okay.
Yes, you may. Joga,
Okay.
sorry, but let's give
First of all,
Force a moment to speak.
Yes.
very important to speak. First of all, because of his line, I was not even there, so I opened the door, and first thing I saw was a world war, and he immediately grabbed me and used me as a human shield, and he lied about it, and oh my God,
Your Honor,
great.
objection, he is repeating the same thing as I said. for proof, you can check the
Objection,
files,
you
and
already
that's literally
talked.
been written there.
Objection. Okay, can I
Hmm.
now say something, Your Honor?
Alright, so Jogo, you'll be the last one. I will
Okay,
be giving out another sentence afterwards. Alright, let
okay.
me speak.
So what I'm trying to say here, from what I've heard from Yuko's perspective, he used poor force as a human shield to what? To defend himself from pillow fights, which is so violent. And what I'm saying here is that force did not provoke or attack Yuka, which gave him no excuse to abuse him, as I'm saying. There was no threat nor self-defense involved. Self-defense is involved. Someone attacks the other and you fight with the one that's attacking you, Yuko. Not to use someone as a human shield to defend
Objection.
yourself from someone else. Let me continue, please.
Your Honor,
This
objection.
was unprovoked violence, and in any legal moral system, that should be unacceptable. Yuko used physical force, and our guy here force was struck in the head. It was
Your Honor,
struck.
objection.
I mean,
Alright,
he
Your
was
Honor,
I was
order,
physical.
speaking.
order in the court, order in the
Not
court,
finished.
order,
I did not
order,
finish yet.
everyone be quiet,
I'm
everyone
sorry,
be
but you're
quiet.
stopping me from
I'm sorry,
finishing my
Joga, sorry,
arguments.
Joga, I'm the
Your Honor, I
judge,
just
please
want to
respect
add
the
something.
court, everyone respect the court, alright? I will be impartial here, but I will give you what we've been gathering so far. Alright, so, first one. Hugo is found not criminally liable under the Juvenile Protection Framework. So, under paragraph 66, a child aged 7 to 15 is not held criminally liable like an adult, but may be subject to special juvenile measures. Paragraph 68, for a misdemeanor committed by a child, the court may issue a warning and the child over to a guardian, impose reformative or educational measures. And this idea supports the decision to avoid formal punishment and instead impose creative and reform-oriented RB sentencing. Now then, moving on, the accused's conduct was reckless. So, under the paragraph 28, which defines a criminal act as one that violates the law and causes harm to others, and paragraph 29, which states it requires the harm to be directly caused by the accused, which is different from the story that Force here tripped on its own. And under paragraph 33, which distinguishes between intent and recklessness, no intent was proven, but recklessness still applies. And under paragraph 34, a misdemeanor is punishable only if harm is proven and caused directly. Now, this supports recognizing Yuko's actions as reckless, but not intentional assault. Now, Joga, you guys can provide me a medical records to
I will.
erase
My
that
honor.
judgment.
Your
My
Honor,
honor.
can I just add
Order,
something?
order, order, I'm not
My
finished.
honor.
I am not finished. Everyone please be quiet. Now then, another point, society in judgment, claims of terminal brain damage are dismissed until further notice. Until
Um,
Joga and her side can provide me a medical
yes,
records, which
yes, Your
she
Honor.
said they will. So, while I'm speaking, please send it to me. And
Okay.
another,
Should I send it in
Hugo,
private
yes,
messages?
send it to me
May I
privately.
speak? May
Your Honor,
No,
once
not
again,
yet,
I
not
just
yet.
want to add
Everyone,
something.
order into court, order into court.
Your Honor, I have a
Alright.
Your
request.
Honor, Your
And
Honor, I just want to say something.
I have so many things to say. Everyone, please pause that for a moment.
I
Alright.
sent you, Your Honor.
Hugo has shown post-incident goodwill. Under paragraph 130 of the Iraqi Penal Code, good behavior after the incident and efforts to repair harm done, tutoring, sharing peaceful and anime enlightenment, legally supports leniency in judgment and encourages restorative behavior. This, however, does not remove the fact that Hugo is still under case for his reckless act. Now then, that finishes everything.
You
Now,
prick, let me speak.
no, Shut up. Racism is not allowed in the court.
I'm sorry,
This
but
is
Your
very.
Honor,
That is so
Can I talk?
unprofessional.
Please,
That is so
please.
unprofessional. How dare you? For your information, I'm not a thing. I am, in fact, a minority. I am black, I think. I don't know. But I am not white, and that gives me enough minority to be
Sure, man.
always
Sure,
right
whatever you
every
want.
time.
Whatever you
So, please, mouse, I respect that you want to say your
whatever you are.
citizens,
Look,
but please
I just have
sit
one
down
thing
for a
to
bit
say.
and call me daddy first.
You British.
oh,
May I
oh,
talk?
What the fuck is
my.
happening in this court?
Alright, mouse, please present your case.
Look,
Your Honor,
I
I
just
was
have.
not. Your Honor, I was
Yeah,
not given
Your
the
Honor,
word.
can you please shut her up? I just have one thing to say.
You can.
Alright, I'm
Your
giving
Honor,
you
listen to me.
a moment.
This incompetent lawyer here keeps saying that it wasn't self-defense. First of all, it was self-defense because Yuko was fighting against two people. And by the way, force at the time was
Linganguli guli guli water lingangu lingangu.
Your
also,
Honor,
Can I
also,
talk? Can I
Alright,
talk?
alright.
Can I talk?
also,
Mouse,
may I
please be quiet. Please be quiet. Joker, have your moment.
also may I add,
No,
despite
you may
all the
not.
punishment Yuko went through, the
Mouse,
psychological
mouse,
trauma,
wait for a moment. Respect
oh
the
my God,
fucking
oh
court,
my
please. I'm begging each
objection.
of you. It
Your
is 3
Honor,
a.m. I want to sleep. Please,
look,
give me a
all
moment
I'm
of
saying,
silence.
all I'm,
Mouse, please,
shut up
I am
now.
begging you.
all I'm saying is it is
Joker,
perfectly reasonable.
Linganguli guli guli water lingangu lingangu.
Your
Also, let me
Honor,
just add
Your
one.
Honor, I think the lawyer
order,
himself
order,
is a
order,
child
order in the
abuser.
court, order.
My honor,
Let me
can I
just add.
talk, please? I will
Let me
listen
just
for
add
10
one.
minutes.
Let me just
Wait
add.
for
Now
it.
you're gonna talk.
We made the judge mute.
Let me just add one
What?
more.
Fire.
Okay,
Fire.
despite
The law of I have a Iraqi law saying that if someone who abused and threw him to something and gave him an injury, that he can go to juvenile under the court determination by the judge and supervision, which obviously I have a image for, and
Your Honor,
I'm
what
gonna
is
send
this
it to
guy
you.
even talking about? Can you please shut him up? Thank you. Look, listen to me.
Hello? Excuse
Listen
you,
to me.
can you not emotionally assault my defendant? I'm sorry. What are you talking about?
First of all,
And
the
first of all,
British
shut
Queen
up.
isn't even here. Okay,
First of all,
She isn't
shut
even
up,
here.
you avoidant.
We need someone.
Second of all, you made our judge leave.
Sakuma,
And
you're
someone,
our only judge now.
Sakuma,
Sakuma, listen to me.
Sakuma.
Sakuma.
Come on. Bro, everyone is like,
You can.
Your
Okay,
Honor,
wait, who
You're the
can be the
only one
judge?
who can save us.
Who can be the judge?
Your Honor,
Someone be the judge.
did she get actually leave?
yeah, that fucked up left. Okay,
And that was because
Oh
of
my
you.
god.
Um, Sakuma. Our only hope is
Sakuma.
Sakuma.
Sakuma,
Wait,
listen to me.
someone think.
I'm going
Ruru,
to beg.
Ruru, Ruru.
Why
Wow,
did you play a
Ruru.
black mouse?
Look, I didn't even say anything. All I said
You
was
just said he
8-year-olds are
was
not
a
human.
judge. I swear to God.
I don't think what I'm saying is something like really bad. Okay,
Okay, we need a judge because. What do you mean? You literally was.
Threw you into a TV stand, that would be like a win-win for both sides. So
Okay,
that's
See what
good.
I
under
mean?
Iraqi
Are you
law,
down?
what happened? You get founders of crimes, blah 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 blah, whatever. For 8-year-olds, any small situation. Well, listen, the abuser is not 14. The abuser was 12.
The
I was
abuser is
12.
12.
the abuser was 12. You could don't even call yourself an
Doesn't
abuser.
matter.
All you
You're
can
going to juvenile.
Bro, fuck the
Okay, we can.
juvenile. You know what?
Yeah,
To me.
he said
You know what?
abuser.
Listen, for everyone watching, I am ending the video here. We can nowhere to go forward after this. Our judge went to sleep. Our secondary judge is nowhere to be found. Court case
Yeah.
maybe next week or whenever we feel like it. So yeah, does anyone have anything to say?
Wait, under 11,
A mouse is not
under
professional.
under
I'll
what
I'll just mute you.
uh,
All right. See ya.
Yuko, I think I defended you great, by the way. We won that case.